A lavish gala hit a cruel moment that would unravel in ways no one saw coming. The ballroom glittered under crystal chandeliers, a symphony of clinking glasses and murmured wealth filling the air. At the heart of the city's most exclusive hotel, the annual Tech Summit Gala drew the elite, billionaires, innovators, and influencers. Among them was Li Wei, a Chinese tech mogul whose fortune rivaled small nations. His tailored suit and sharp smile commanded attention, his presence a magnet for admiration and envy. Waitstaff moved like shadows, their practiced steps unnoticed by the dazzling crowd. Among them was Jamal Carter, a young black man whose quiet confidence belied the weight of his second job. He balanced trays of champagne with precision, his eyes scanning the room, absorbing every detail. Jamal had grown used to being invisible, a skill honed through years of navigating spaces where his presence was tolerated but rarely welcomed. Tonight, though, something felt different. Li Wei's table was the center of gravity, a hub of laughter and power. As Jamal approached with a tray of drinks, he caught Li's gaze, a fleeting, dismissive glance that carried an edge of disdain. The billionaire's reputation preceded him, brilliant, ruthless, and known for sharp-witted remarks that often cut too deep. Jamal's heart quickened, sensing the room's energy shift. He placed the drinks with care, but Li's voice, smooth and deliberate, sliced through the hum. A comment, laced with mockery, hung in the air. The table erupted in laughter, heads turning toward Jamal. His face burned, but he kept his composure, his hands steady. What had Li said? Why did it feel like the room was closing in? Curiosity prickled. Something was about to unfold, something no one, not even Li Wei, could predict. The laughter lingered, a jagged echo that seemed to pulse through the ballroom. Jamal moved back to the service area, his tray lighter, but his chest heavy. Li Wei's words, spoken in rapid Mandarin, had been a deliberate jab. Something about Jamal's appearance, his role, his place in this world of wealth. The table's amusement wasn't just at the words, but at the assumption that Jamal couldn't understand. To them, he was just a waiter, a prop in their glittering evening. But Jamal wasn't what they thought. Raised in a diverse neighborhood, he'd spent years studying Mandarin, drawn to its cadence and complexity. He'd never flaunted it, never needed to, until now. As he refilled his tray, Jamal's mind raced. The injustice of the moment stung, not just for its cruelty, but for its familiarity. He'd felt this before, being reduced to a stereotype, his worth measured by a glance. The gala continued, oblivious to his inner storm. Li Wei's table grew louder, their confidence unshaken. Jamal watched as Li leaned back, his smirk a silent challenge, as if daring the world to push back. The tension coiled tighter with each step Jamal took toward the table. He could walk away, let the moment pass, and keep his job. But something deeper stirred, a need to reclaim his dignity, to shatter the assumptions that boxed him in. He approached again, this time with purpose. The room's energy shifted subtly, as if sensing a disruption in its rhythm. Li Wei's eyes flicked toward him, expecting compliance, perhaps another chance to amuse his guests. Jamal's pulse thundered, but his face remained a mask of professionalism. He set down the drinks, his movements deliberate, and paused. The table quieted, sensing something unusual. Jamal's next move wasn't just about him. It was about every time he'd been overlooked, every assumption that had tried to define him. The stakes felt impossibly high, the air thick with anticipation. Would he speak? Would he let the moment slip away? The room seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the spark that would ignite the night. Jamal's paws stretched, a heartbeat suspended in the glittering chaos of the gala. Then, In flawless Mandarin, he spoke. His voice was calm, steady, but carried a weight that cut through the room's hum. He addressed Li Wei directly, his words a mirror reflecting Li's mockery back at him. He didn't raise his voice or gesture wildly. He didn't need to. Each syllable was precise, a quiet rebellion that stunned the table into silence. Li's smirk faltered, his eyes widening as the realization hit. This waiter, this man they'd dismissed, had understood every word. The laughter died, replaced by a heavy, electric stillness. The room seemed to contract, every guest within earshot turning toward the exchange. Jamal's words weren't just a response, they were a reclamation. He spoke of respect, of assumptions, of the humanity so easily overlooked in spaces like this. His fluency was a weapon, dismantling the power dynamic Li had leaned into. The billionaire's face flushed, a mix of embarrassment and disbelief. His guests shifted uncomfortably, their earlier amusement now a source of shame. Jamal stood tall, his tray empty, his presence undeniable. For a moment, the entire gala seemed to pivot around him, the invisible made visible. The tension peaked, a clash of worlds in a single breathless moment. The silence broke as whispers rippled through the ballroom. Li Wei, caught off guard, managed only a stiff nod before turning away, his authority shaken. Jamal returned to his duties, his heart still racing, but his head high. Word of the exchange spread, a quiet legend born among the waitstaff and beyond. By the night's end, guests approached Jamal, some with apologies, others with quiet respect. The gala continued, but its sheen had dulled, the illusion of untouchable power cracked. Jamal's act wasn't just about one night, it was a spark. Stories like his, of quiet defiance against casual cruelty, began to circulate, challenging the unspoken rules of spaces built on exclusion. He didn't seek fame or retribution, he sought to be seen. And in that moment, he was. The takeaway lingered, heavy and undeniable. Assumptions can blind, but truth speaks louder. How many others, dismissed as less than, hold power the world refuses to see? What happens when they choose to speak?